Welcome to another episode of Yo a Nerd, and we are keeping up with Miles. Alright y'all, so we are back with Miles, and right now is a great time to read some Miles Morales comic books. Why? Because Marvel is doing the Clone Saga with Miles Morales. Yes, so they're putting Miles Morales through a Clone Saga. Now to keep it real with you, I'm not really feeling the fact that they're putting Miles through his Clone Saga, because like, why recycle this story over? Like, we had this with Peter Parker. He went through like a good couple Clone Sagas. Like, the man had like 50 million clones for real. So like, why even do this again with Miles? Like, we just had a nice dope storyline where Miles had his own storyline, and now we jumping into basically recycled Peter Parker storyline. I wasn't really feeling it at first, but let's get into it. If you remember a while ago, Miles got kidnapped and they did a whole bunch of experiments on him, and they basically made a clone of him. And the clone that they made, it died off because it couldn't last long. Like, it couldn't sustain long enough to like really do things, so it basically died off, and Miles thought that was the end of it. But no, we find out at the end of Miles Morales 24 that, you know, there's a Spider-Man going around kidnapping scientists and doing a whole bunch of crazy shit, and everybody thinks it's Miles, but we know it's not. So, which brings us to Miles Morales 25, which I got the variant cover of it, because this bitch is fire. Just look at this junk. This variant cover is fire, so I had to get that junk. But let's get into the story. So, when you start the story, Miles' peoples is telling him like, yo, it's somebody out there with your face, your powers, all that, just doing this crazy stuff. They like kidnapping people, robbing stuff, and they're like, he also threatened this guy. And then Miles is like, actually, that might have been me that threatened him, but I didn't do that other stuff though. Genki comes over, right? And then Genki's like, dang, this is crazy. I still got something to tell you, but this is not what I had to tell you, right? Genki then tells Miles that, yo, I'm messing with your ex-girlfriend. We just started messing a while ago. We didn't want to tell you, but now I'm telling you. So Miles doesn't really care, for real, but he just goes off. He goes off on Genki, basically yokes Genki up real quick, like basically was ready to steal ya, right? And then so lately Miles been going through this whole angry phase. Like, he been just getting angry. I don't know if it has to do with his uncle dying or just the pressures of being Spider-Man, but he just been getting angrier and angrier. He been just going through this whole angry phase, kind of like Peter Parker did when he had the Venom suit. But he seems to be getting angrier and angrier, and I wonder what's up with that. But he goes off to basically try to stop this clone Spider-Man. He goes looking for the Spider-Man, right? And then he runs into the actual Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and they gets to fighting, bruh, because he thinks that, you know, Miles is out here doing crazy stuff, but he doesn't know if this is the clone of Miles or not, so they gets to fighting, right? And let's talk about it. Miles was holding his own against Spider-Man, bruh. Like, peep this out. First, Spider-Man hits him with a nice little elbow to the chin, right? Nice little tough one. And then Miles yokes up by the head and slams him with the web. That was tough. Then Peter Parker comes back with the little kick and tries to stop it. And look what Miles do. Miles just blocked that joint real quick. That was tough. And then Miles just basically getting battered. He uses camouflage. Peter Parker's still tough. Miles like, damn, how you still getting close and you can't even see me? But you know, that nigga got experience. He been around the block for a minute, right? So then you basically, Miles says something where Peter Parker's like, okay, you definitely the real Miles, you feel me? So then they, you know, chill out and they like, okay, we gotta do something for real. And they go looking for the clone, which they end up seeing him, right? Then they gets to fighting with the clone. Yo, like Clayface, you feel me? So they gets to tussling with the clone and all that, right? And they end up stopping the clone. Then they get hit with this gas, right? And then so Peter Parker gotta stay behind and Miles goes off, find who did all this, right? And then Miles finds out there's more clones. He finds out there's a couple other ones. There's a little ugly ass human spider looking thing. You got the Clayface looking one. You got this nigga with the daggers. he looked tough. Ooh, like I said, wasn't really cool with them putting him through like a Clone Saga. But all in all, the comic actually was good. It more in Miles' story, and I just want to see what's going on with Miles and like his home life. Forget the Spider-Man joke. Why this nigga so angry? Why he mad? You feel me? So this was dope, and this starts off his Clone Saga. So he'll have to go up against these clones, and we'll see how he wins this one. But this one was really dope. I always like seeing Miles and Peter Parker team up. That's always cool. So that's what Miles Morales is right now, Clone Saga. So definitely gonna keep y'all updated on each one. So see y'all next month on Keeping Up with Miles. Peace.